Hi, I'm Tricia Goyer, and today I'm going to be talking to you about my book, Remembering You. I got the inspiration for this novel after interviewing World War II veterans. I started interviewing veterans for the 11th Armored Division back in 2001 when I was researching novels. I first heard about the veterans from the 11th Armored Division when I was visiting Mauthausen concentration camp. A historian took me into her home and she started telling about these men that opened the gates and that freed these prisoners. And I got home and I thought, I wonder if I could talk to these veterans, if anyone would be interested in talking to me. And so I wrote letters to some of them and they invited me to their reunion, which I didn't expect, but I was so excited to go. And as I walked in the hotel where the reunion was, I thought, okay, it's going to take me a couple days to get them to warm up, get them to trust me. Instead, I had a man rush up to me and he said, "Are you the author? Are you here to interview the veterans?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And he said, "They've been waiting for you all day." Sure enough, he led me into the side room and there was these veterans and they were sitting there. There's about 6 of them. They had their photo albums in hand. Some of them had their caps, their 11th Armored Division caps. They had all this other memorabilia. And I just remember sitting, why do they trust me? It was hard at times too. There was times when we'd be sitting there and they'd start telling me a story and then they would tear up. They would think about a buddy that they lost. Sometimes they would get silent for a while and I could tell from the look in their eyes they were visiting the distant past. I remember one time when I was interviewing another veteran and I felt a hand on my shoulder. I looked up to see this tall, elderly man standing there and he said, "Can you talk to me later? I have a story to tell you." And I said, "Of course." And as he stood there, his shoulders started quivering and he put his face in his hands. And he said, "There's so many memories." And it just made me realize that these aren't just stories and they just aren't names and dates in the history books. These are real men's experiences. I remember one man talking about when they walked into the camp and just the scent of death in the air. I remember people talking about handing out bread to the prisoners in these skeletal forms, just reaching out their hands and asking for food. And tears running down these veterans' eyes, remembering how sometimes when they gave them the food, the men just crumbled in the ground because their bodies weren't able to take it in. And as I heard these stories, it became alive to me, like I was able to live through it with them. And that's what I'm just so thankful about, that they're able to share their hearts and share their experiences with me and open up to me in ways I didn't even imagine.